Hi, I'm Miguel with Datavideo, and this is the second tutorial of our series in the Showcast 100. In the first tutorial, we learned how to set up a 3-camera workflow with a laptop. We learned how to control the cameras, and we learned some of the basic switcher functions. In part 2, we're going to be going over advanced functions of the menu for both the switcher and cameras, and also how to set up Luma Key and PIP for your graphics. If you want to jump to a specific section of this video, there are chapter markers in the description below, as well as a link to our previous video. So first, let's start with the menu functions. We're going to press the menu button on the bottom left corner, and let's go up to Start. This is where we shall begin. The transition mix is whether or not you want your auto button to mix or wipe when you press it. You can also set up your wipe effect, whether you want it to be in the left, right, top, bottom, or center. You have your wipe border size, wipe border color, lots of options there. What you want the color for the background to be, and whether you want the wipe to be normal or reverse. So if you like wipes, this switcher has got you covered. All right, next is how we set up our PIP and split screen. We're going to go over that a little later. The PIP crop. So you can crop your image. That's where we're going to access Luma Key. Audio, this is where we could set up all the settings for our audio mixer. Whether you want your HDMI inputs to initialize how the audio mixer is mixing, or if you have an external mixer, how you want those levels to come into the switcher. What you want your groupings to be, and tally mode. Also audio delay. Now you can set audio delay if you have an external audio mixer or audio sources coming in that might be a frame or two ahead of your cameras. We can set up our user memories. We could both load and save from this screen. We have our setup menu. Now this is where we can set the program out for the Showcast 100 resolution. So we could upscale or downscale to a variety of resolutions. So depending on what you want your projector, recorder, or monitor to be fed for resolution and frame rate, you can set up the Showcast 100 to do it, and it'll be active on all of the outputs in the back of the switcher at the same time. You can't currently set up individual auxiliary outputs for the Showcast 100. Our streaming out resolution is right there. We can stream out in up to 1080p 60. Now the multi-view mode here, now we can change it from our quad view, which is how we have it set up now, to a portrait mode. And this is for shooting vertical. You can also stream vertically on the upper button here, and that's what that button is for vertical. And we're not set up in vertical, so everything looks a little off. But when you do want to shoot vertical and stream vertical, it's very much possible. We have our black button mode. We can set up a safety marker and output format. We could save this setup, and we can also reset everything to factory default. For cameras, here is where we scanned our cameras in the first tutorial. And if we move on to the next screen, we can actually set the video format of each camera right here from the Showcast. So whatever camera you have selected, you could interact with it from here. If you want to set up your joystick to pan, reverse, or tilt and reverse, this is useful when you have a camera mounted upside down, like say on a lighting truss or some kind of other setup. And then here we can actually access the menu of each camera directly from the Showcast. So I'm on camera 1. There's the menu setting for camera 1. And then lastly, here is where we can set up for networking with the Showcast 100. We can set our address mode to DCHP or fixed IP. I currently don't have it connected to a network. I have all of the cameras running in through RS422, so we don't have any network information up here. All right, so next let's move on to how to set up our Luma Key. So let's go ahead and go to the Luma Key menu. And I have my PowerPoint running from my laptop onto input 4. So let's go ahead and bring input 4 in the program. So I'm going to advance my PowerPoint and go to where I want to set up my Luma Key. Here we go. So I want to bring this in as a graphic into my production. So I can press the Luma button to see what it looks like. All right, hey, it came in perfectly, that's great. But how did that happen? So if we go to the cleanup level here, it's defining what absolute black is for the switcher to key out. So it still sees it, okay. And now the black's completely gone. If we advance it too much, we're gonna lose the blue and then we'll actually lose the whole image. So what we wanna do is bring it down to, we had it at 10, we got lucky there. All right, that seems to be the sweet spot. It's 10. Also, you could set up the transparency. So I can add a little bit of opacity to it if I would like, but I like how it's set up. And let's go ahead and take a shot of the Showcast 100. If you have motion graphics, it's gonna work the same way. So once we have the black keyed out, we can bring in a motion lower third. And there's a lower third I made in After Effects. I just exported it with a black background, so it's a normal H.264 QuickTime video. And it doesn't need to be an alpha channel or anything. Luma Key will take care of the graphics for you. And then I could advance it out. Let's move up to PIP here. All right, so we can have our PIP source. I'd like to set it up as input 3. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up input 3, which is a shot of my camera controller, here with a shot of our camera. So this is camera 1. All right, and then let's go ahead and hit PIP to bring it in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take 1. All right, so now I could manipulate the camera here and we have everything in the same shots. Now I want to adjust the PIP here. So I'm gonna go to PIP crop and now I can set up the size of my PIP. So I can make it a little bit larger or I can make it a little bit smaller. I could crop over, so the right side here, or the left side of the frame, it isn't really telling any kind of story. So what I can do is I can go ahead and crop out part of that. So now it shows only the zoom control. Maybe I want to set a slightly bigger border. You get the idea. All right, so that's how we set up our PIP. And then we could go ahead and disable it. So another way to do that shot would be I'll just go ahead and have it so that half the screen is the joystick and the other half the screen is the camera. So let's go ahead and set that up. So if we go back to split, we have our PIP source and split source, 2 and 3. Let's go ahead and switch that to 3. Okay. And then I'm gonna move the camera over a bit there. Okay. And then under PIP split mode, I'm gonna change it from PIP to split. So now when we press the PIP button, and that's how you set up split. All right, in the next tutorial, all that's left really is the cover recording and streaming, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have a bunch of resources in the description below for more tutorials on the Showcast 100. If you like what you see, subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on social media for the latest from Datavideo. Thanks for watching.